After the days of King Solomon, the land of Israel faced seasons of unrest. Taxes were heavy, and many villages suffered under corrupt officials who took more than what the law required. In a small hillside village lived Adinah, the daughter of Eliab, a humble olive farmer. Their grove was their only source of food and income, but a long drought had withered the trees, and the jars of oil in their home grew fewer each month. One morning, a royal envoy arrived. 4 men in fine garments with hardened faces. They carried scrolls bearing the king's seal, demanding tribute for the palace. But instead of collecting fairly, they began taking far more than what was due. Adinah watched as they seized jars of oil meant for widows and the poor. When they reached her family's home, they lifted the last jar her mother had saved for winter. Her father's hands trembled, but before he could speak, Adinah stepped forward. "You may have the king's seal," she said, her voice clear, "but you have no right to take what God has set apart for the survival of his people." The guard scoffed. "Who are you, little girl, to question the king's command?" Adinah raised her chin. "I am the daughter of Eliab, servant of the Lord Most High. And I know the law. Moses said, 'You shall not oppress the poor or take a widow's cloak in pledge.' What you do is against both God's word and the king's honor." The leader of the guards laughed, but her words stirred murmurs among the villagers. The men took the jar anyway, but her bold defiance spread quickly. Within days, it reached the palace. The king, curious about this fearless girl, summoned her to appear before him. She walked into the great hall alone, the golden pillars towering above her. Soldiers lined the walls, but she showed no fear. Bowing respectfully, she said, "Your Majesty, a crown is not only a mark of power, it is a promise to protect." The king leaned forward. "And you believe I have broken that promise?" "I believe you have been misled," Adinah replied. "The men who claim to serve you dishonor your name. A leader's crown shines brighter when it shields the powerless, not when it crushes them." The king, moved by her wisdom and courage, ordered a full investigation. The corrupt officials were punished, the stolen oil returned, and the law of the poor renewed. Impressed by her bravery, the king appointed Adinah to oversee the fair distribution of grain and oil in the surrounding villages. From that day forward, she was remembered as the girl who stood before kings, a living testimony that God's strength can raise the humble to challenge injustice and change nations. God does not measure by age, wealth, or status, only by the courage to stand for what is right.